That's his first problem. And that's the only problem I'm going to deal with. You don't believe me, I got to deal with two to cover. He has the I, me, my syndrome. Look what he said. In these 4 little verses, he uses I, me, thou. He uses these words 13 times in these little verses. When you use I, me, mine, thine, thou, when you use those words that many times in that short of a time frame, guess what? You are self-centered. You ain't Christ-centered. You're self-centered. When everything that comes out of your mouth, now I gotta be somewhere either at the beginning or the middle at the end, you ain't Christ-centered. You're self-centered. If it hadn't been for me, I was the one. That's self-centered. Your world evolves around you. You are the center of your circumference. Your equilibrium is off because it's all about you.
Yes, sir.
Your seesaw is unbalanced because somebody is always going to be down and you're always going to be up.
Well,
he says, this is what I'll do. I will tear down my old barn, and I will build me a bigger barn. And I will tell myself, self, you have much stored up for many years. I'll tell myself, self, take an early retirement. Party. Because he says, I'm just going to tell my soul, eat, drink, be merry. Don't worry about working no more. Don't worry about trying to put what I have to good use. Just tell yourself, self, take your ease. Lay back. Chill. Hang loose. Do what you want to do. Do what you want to do, what you want to do, what you want to do. But be what you are. What am I? Self-centered. But not only the self-centeredness of this man, but the fourth thing about this man was the selfishness of wrong ownership. See, because he selfishly tried to own what legally did not belong to him. You see, covetousness leads you down that path to where you try to take ownership and take possession of what's rightly not yours. You see, first of all, he had nothing to do with the overflow. He had nothing to do with the great abundance See, all he did was planted the seed. All he did was planted the crops, the fruits. He watered them. How many times do you know you can plant it right? You can give it the right amount of water. But if God does not give the increase within the ground, it does not grow on top of the ground. Boy, y'all, I'm doing some good stuff right here, y'all. Growth takes place underneath the ground. You can only control what's above the ground. But it's God's ground, it's God's soil, it's God's water. And if God does not start activating, if God does not start allowing that stuff to come together and start maturing and start growing up out of His ground, then I don't care what you do on the top of the ground, it's still not going to produce a harvest. So here he is trying to own what is not his. Our first series, the first part of this series, we talked about the rightful owner. He said, I'm going to tear down my barn. It wasn't your barn.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't your wood. Anybody going to help me? I'm going to tear down my barn. Then I'm going to build me a bigger barn. Well, how you going to build a barn if you don't have God's strength to build the barn? How you going to build the barn if God doesn't give you the intelligence and the knowledge and the wisdom of the right measurement, the right size barn to build to hold your oversight? So you're trying to own something. You see, that's what messes you up. See, when we get in this pattern of saying me, mine, and I too much, we start to want to take possession of stuff that is really not ours, and we start to want to think that we can do whatever we want, especially when it comes to my body. I can go to many buffets as my money allows me to go. First of all, it ain't your money. Second of all, it's not your money. It's not your body. Third of all, it's not your food. It's not your car. It's not your gas that you put in the car. But because I got the I, me, mine, and doing me syndrome, I think and feel I can do whatever I want to with my body, with my money.
Well.
But not only the self-centeredness, the selfishness, but in closing, the last point I want to leave with you. This is a very important point you need to grab. Is the sentence that God pronounced on this rich man. God allows him to talk all throughout the parable about what he was going to do. And about how he was going to live after he did what he was going to do. He said he was going to tell his soul. Well, first of all, I hear God saying to this rich man, thou fool. And, I wondered why God called this man a fool. You see, I don't know about y'all, but when I was growing up, two words that really bothered me and made me feel bad when they came out of my mother's mouth directed toward me was, boy, you so ignorant. Those words, simply because back then I didn't know what they meant.
That's right.
It was just the fact that the way they sounded. Let you know that there really wasn't nothing good behind it. You see, boy, you so ignorant. Don't sound like nothing like you so handsome. Whenever I heard her say, that's my baby, looking good right there. May smiles come on my face. But whenever she said, boy, you ain't nothing but a fool, it always changed my complexion. But as I got older, I began to do a little research. You see, that's why you need to be taught.
That's right.
And what I discovered, Sister Gail, ignorant comes from the word ignorance. And ignorance really not a bad word. Because in reality, all of us is ignorant in something. Yeah, ignorant simply mean you just don't know. But the reason why a lot of times we are ignorant is because we simply choose to ignore. Do I have a witness here? Yes, and I heard, yes, that God called him a fool. And I said to the Lord, Lord, why did you call this rich man a fool? Yes, I said, Lord, he ain't acting crazy. Lord, he ain't driving 100 miles an hour down the street. Lord, he ain't even, breaking in folk houses. Why is it you called him a fool? The Lord emailed me and said, Mike, the reason why I called him a fool, you see, a fool is not known by what he does, but a fool is known by what he says. That'll make somebody happy right there. You see, Mike, this rich man started telling me what he was going to do. He told me he was going to tear down my barn. He told me he was going to use my wood without my permission to build another barn. He told me that he was going to tell the soul I gave him to take his rest. How did he know that's what I wanted for him? How did he know I did not want him to take the excess? Did not want him to take the overage? Did not want him to take the more than enough and give it to some poor people in his community? How did he know I did not want him to take the overage and go and give it to somebody that didn't have nothing? So that's why I gave him a hard sentence. That's why I told him tonight your soul is going to be required of you because you acted foolishly. You didn't use properly what I instructed you with. And I want to ask somebody, what is the Lord going to ask you tonight? What is the Lord going to require of you if you have not used what God has placed in your hand? If you're misusing it, if you're holding it and don't want to let it go, what is the Lord going to require of you? I know it don't feel good, and I know it don't sound good, but I hear him saying, tonight, yes, your soul is going to be required. And I hear God saying, then who will have your stuff? Who's going to rule over your stuff? Who's going to spend all the money you've been saving? Who's going to use and drive the car? Who's going to lay in your bed? I know you don't like it, but it's so true. Who's going to share your wife? Who's going to lock up with your husband? Who is it? That's what you want to know. Who is it? That's the reason why I made up in my mind, Lord, whatever you gave me, whatever you put in my hand, whatever you trust me with, it's not too much, it's not too big for me to give it back to you. I may not have much, but that I have. Anybody here can share with me? I give it back to you. I give myself, first of all, I give myself back to you. I give my wife, I give her back to you. I give my children, I give them back to you. I give my house, I give it back to you. If they foreclose on it tomorrow, I'm still going to say, you're a good God. If you come and pick up my car in the morning, I'm still going to say, I'm walking by faith and not by sight. Anybody here going to use your possession? If you're going to use it in the right way, just look at the neighbor and say, neighbor, the neighbor, oh neighbor, whatever I have, I give it back. Oh, I give it back. But if you don't mind, just take a neighbor by the hand. But if you don't mind, and you should come closer. If you don't mind, just look at your neighbor and tell your neighbor, neighbor, I'm making this declaration to you. And when I'm making this declaration to myself, say neighbor, say neighbor, say neighbor, I want you to know this. When I tell you this, I want you to know that I mean every word about it. Let people know. Let Satan know. What I have belongs to God. Who I am. God made me. What I know. The Lord told me. Anybody here? Anybody here? I don't want to be like the fool. I've been a fool too long. I let the devil use me. I let him use me. I let him take advantage of me. But now, I'm on the Lord's side. But now, everything I got, I may leave here without a penny in my pocket. But one thing that last verse said, y'all don't mind it, do you? One thing the last verse said, so is he that is rich toward the world and poor toward God. I want it to be the other way around. I might be poor toward this world, but thank God I'm rich toward God. What's rich in word? I'm rich in faith. I'm rich in joy. I'm rich in